appears after, of course, post-resurrection scene. All the doors are said to be locked, and Jesus appears right in their midst. And everyone, all the disciples think he's a ghost. How could he get there? Well, that's right. How could he get there? All the doors are locked. How did he suddenly appear in their midst? So the question comes up at that time, not now, but at that time, whether or not the post-resurrection appearances were spiritual and not physical. If Jesus is walking along the road with a couple of people and they don't recognize him for a long walk and then suddenly recognize him even though they've been talking to him for a long time, does that suggest that there's something else going on other than physical appearances? All of these questions you can look at just by going back into it and looking at it. You know, see, we have a culture where we're taught to think critically, we're taught to use our mind. We have some of the greatest schools and buildings and faculties. But then we have different areas that are in isolation, and we keep them separate. And we insulate ourselves from using our critical faculties on them, and therefore we can't bring them together in any unity. And it's time to end it, you know. It's time to say, look, let's put this, let's understand this, let's put it into a context. Let's get the greatest vision that we can have so that we ourselves can match that vision and go on. And not try to defend things that were never defensible. No, that's what I said. Thank you for your question.
How does humans' apprehension of impressions account, or how do they understand then this idea of Christianity? Because isn't that then part of our mind? It's our impressions.
Let's see if I can go back over that. There's several points, right?
Okay.
How is Q?
Hume.
Oh, David Hume?
Yeah, you were talking
Oh,
about...
excuse me. I didn't hear you. I thought you said Q, and I'm saying, oh, what a question. Okay, pardon me. Do it again. How does David Hume...
Well, the people that have apprehension, impressions, representation. That's all. That's supposed to be in our individual minds. How do they account for this?
That's easy. Whatever you're going to say, whatever you're going to say after this, I can answer you.
Okay, go ahead.
I'll tell you why. Because in the beginning of the work and the end of the work, he says, look here, the mind has very narrow. It's very narrow. And it has very limited abilities, and it's just not fit for the task of reflecting on this higher level. And therefore all questions that have their origin on a level other than sense experience are simply impossible to resolve because the mind isn't up to it. It's basically a limited faculty for David. And for the Stoics.
So is he just throwing out Christianity then? Doesn't even exist?
He does, by the way, he does.
He throws out Christianity too.
I don't know whether the right word would be to throw it out, but if you look at the concluding paragraph in his work, I think you'll enjoy it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Seems like we have to because...
His concluding paragraph says if you pick up any book in the library and take a look at it and see whether it has anything to do with number or demonstration, if it doesn't consume it in the flames, I presume the Gospels and the Bible would go into the flames as well as Plato and etc. Yeah. Thank you.